going camping. I'm gonna go for a bit of a hike to get there. It's about 5:15. I'm a little late because a Coke Zero broke in my pocket. Soaked my pants, so I had to change and dry out my pocket. I'm traveling with about 18 or 20 kilos of gear. I've got 2 sleeping pads, a sleeping bag that's not super warm, but it's a -7 bag. I don't have anything to cook. I don't have any food. I don't have rain gear. It's the winter time. I've just got warm clothes. Dressed pretty thin at the moment because I'm going to be hot and I don't want to sweat. So we are up here. We're going down here. Gonna go sleep by the zoo.
Dreaming of golden hours with you, a paradise spent with our love so true. You are the dearest girl of all, and my heart has heard your call, floating through life on love divine.
I'm gonna try and take some more scenic routes. It was about 0 degrees today, so it was just pretty mild. It's just starting to get cold and icy. It's about -2 or 3 right now. Pretty beautiful temperature, to be honest with you. So in addition to my sleep situation, I have a 4-season convertible tent, so it zips down in the summer and zips up in the winter. It's 2-person, so it's got a decent amount of space in it for all my sleeping pads and stuff that I brought. But I also brought some skates because High Park has a skating rink, and I'm going to be bored because it's 6 p.m. and I'll have nothing to do. So I'm going to go skating. This is Kiel and Bloor now, pretty close to the park. That's the subway going by. So I don't have any food. I'm gonna have to scavenge for food. So I think there's either Tim Hortons or got the 7-Eleven here. Maybe I'll get a thing at the 7-Eleven. Mission accomplished. Got myself a tasty beverage and a protein bar. Some survival rations. Didn't have to kill anything, but it will end up in a seabird's stomach at some point, which I don't feel good about, but here I am. Something else I didn't bring was water purification, anything. Everything's frozen, so not purifying any of that. And I don't have a stove to boil it, so I just have like 1.5 liters of water. But my water bottle's missing a seal, so it's been leaking a little bit as I've been walking. But thankfully, I know a few places where I could scavenge some more water if it comes to it, but I think I'll survive. I'm walking up Bloor Street beside High Park. I would walk through it, but there's no lights and I want to record. Just got to High Park, to the entrance at Bloor and High Park, and so pretty in here right now. I'm excited to go skating, go camping, do some reading, eat a protein bar. I'm gonna go set up my camp and then I'm gonna come back and go skating. See if I can get some of my sweat to dry off with this backpack off my back. So I am, I think, on the right road. Actually, I don't think I am on the right road. I don't think this is where I want to go. This is some random road. I want to be on a different one. Alright, I found my road. So I did stake this place out earlier. Seems like a really nice spot to camp. It's kind of quiet. I wish it was a little closer to the rink now that I'm blasting through the park. It's just up in the bush. I'm gonna get there momentarily. Another thing I did bring was my headlamp, because I have not been to this spot in the winter or in the night. Lots of squirrel tracks. There we go. Found it. It's a nice flat spot here with not a lot of snow on the ground. So I'm going to put my tent up here and I'm going to go skating.
A beautiful angel light all mine, a dream that has come true, my dear, since I met you. Won't you dream of me and think of me and learn to love me too? Won't you watch for me and wait for me?
So my camp is now set up. I'm going to go skating now. That's going to be a nice way to spend the evening. This is Canada after all.
And promise you will be true. Won't you take this heart of mine and say I'll give it?
A lot of time when you're camping, you're not trying to survive, you're just trying to find a beautiful place to enjoy. Being able to do that right in the city, to walk for an hour, set up a tent, do some touristy shit, and then go to sleep, wake up the next day to a pretty high concentration of winter birds, it's like absolutely perfect. I've got a lot of other little places around the city that I have done some research on and visited, so I'm going to try and go as many places as I can in Toronto. I have a tendency to wander around cities and think like, I would sleep there. That's a good place to live if I were homeless. Thankfully I'm not. But these beautiful urban parks are just such a treasure. The ice was just Zamboni'd. It's much better. So good. All done skating. Feeling a little bit cold. I think I'm gonna go for a walk. And I'm walking down this pretty little trail, listening to a podcast. But I'm a little bit cold, so I'm just going to go warm up with a beer. Warm up with a cold beer.
They're getting control and there's...
Just had a cheeseburger and a beer and some Amaro. That feels nice. Sat by a heater. And now I'm going to go read a book, go to sleep.
Back someday and just your own truth. happiness here that will reign supreme. You'll rule with love, I know, for your smiling eyes say so. The sands of time shall through our way with fate when we are old and gray.
I got 2 sleeping pads with like an R value of 3.5 and 4.5, so maybe realistically 5, just to keep me off the ground. I kicked away all the snow so it doesn't melt under my tent, and I'm gonna put on some base layers, a bit of wool, a bit of fleece over that, to get in my sleeping bag and just start reading. It's about almost 10 o'clock right now, and hopefully I don't have to piss anymore tonight, but that is unlikely. It's 10:55, -5 degrees, and I've tried to read for 5 minutes maybe, and I'm too tired, and I'm gonna go to sleep. It was a pretty warm night, all things being said. It's still -5 out right now. But basically I just gotta pack up. I'm gonna go through the High Park Zoo and take a look at all the animals before I go. The yaks and the goats and shit. My sleeping pads didn't deflate. I was real warm. I didn't need any of these things. So, great. Not a problem at all. My throat's a little sore. And my nose is cold. But it was a piece of cake. Really enjoyable, comfortable. I've been laying around in the tent for about an hour, just nodding off. Pack the tent up and take a whiz. This is my home from last night, under a couple white pine trees. Lots of people walking around, taking their dogs out. I could hear the dog park for the last couple hours, basically since the light came up. And I've just been in the tent. The light's been up for about an hour actually. It's cold out though. So yeah, I'll get this thing packed up and then go for a little walk and look at the zoo. Here's what's left of my little spot. This little thawed spot on the ground. Tons of little animal prints all around it. Plus that rabbit I saw last night. So I'm gonna hike down to the zoo. Walk out of this bush. The road's super close to where I was. Feels really good to be out in the morning. I'm warm. My fingers are a little cold from putting the tent away, which is something to consider if it gets -20 and I'm doing this. It's a nice little break from reality. Skunks, I got those under my deck. They don't like being on camera. Les mouflons. Or as I call them, the piss dicks. Every so often this zoo has a bit of excitement. One summer the capybaras disappeared, and they found them later in the fall pregnant. One time a peacock escaped, and it was great. They all got back safe. Originally had planned on camping near the zoo, but it's sort of tricky to find a spot. I found a couple spots, but they were sort of hard to access. It was across the utility yard for the park workers, and I didn't want to do that. So, but it's beautiful to go for a walk through after. There's like 9 million squirrels, lots of birds, prime birding real estate. I didn't bring my binoculars because it was getting dark last night, and I was like, to hell with it, but now I wish I had them. Heard some cardinals and some nuthatches, but I haven't seen any. Just squirrels. Well, that's Toronto for you. 1 million squirrels. I'm going to take the route I took last night after I was at Wayland's Gate. So this bush over here is more or less where I camped. The zoo is here, and you can kind of see through there. There's a greenish building, and that's the park utility maintenance building. And up here is the trail I took last night. It's a really beautiful little trail that goes around the dog park. The only problem is the dog park stinks. It smells like dogs. I was walking through there last night. I was thinking, like, I thought I was turned around. I thought I was beside the zoo, because I could just smell animals. And then I remembered it just stinks like dogs. Always stinks like dogs in there. I like dogs, but when you get 1,000 of them pissing all over the place, it stinks a lot. There's the road up to my campsite. And I just bushwhacked off the road.
Won't you dream of me and think of me and learn to love me too? Won't you watch for me and wait for me and promise you'll be true? Won't you take this heart of mine and say I'll give it back someday?
You're a chickadee now. People are out with their dogs, full force. FaceTime was in ya. Another animal, let me see. I'll stand up here and see if I can find a squirrel. There's some squirrel footprints on this log. This is the big oak tree that fell down. This is where I entered the park last night after the bar when I had my burger. should also say I brought an insulated water bottle because I was worried that my water would freeze, and it's totally liquid today and nice and cold. I didn't eat this last night. Now's the time. A little bit of breakfast. This protein bar is really disgusting. Kind of tastes like it's made out of the wood chips you line a hamster cage with. Toronto's the city of squirrels, but also the city of house sparrows. Got more layers on than I did when I walked there yesterday, but I know I'm going home, so I don't really care if I get sweaty. But I also really have to take a pee-pee, so we'll see how that goes, if I can get home or not. Just jaywalking over here. Home at last.